So how did you come to hear about Wellness Pro Academy?
I knew that I needed to scale my personal business, my private practice. And I had decided that it was time to shift gears from my primary source of income being teaching to the teaching being secondary and spending more time with my own
Right.
private practice. And I didn't know how I wanted to do that necessarily. And I thought maybe it's time for me to start a school. But I really am not into admin at
Mhm.
all. So I just love teaching. And while I was thinking about that, I think something just came through the email that it was more like divine intervention because it wasn't even related to Wellness Pro Academy that I randomly signed up for a strategy session with Anna and
Okay.
ended up on that. And it was like our conversation was nothing that I was expecting.
Mhm.
But all of a sudden, I started thinking, hey, this business model could be exactly what I'm looking for right now because I was looking. So it was just divine intervention that it came along and I decided this is where I needed to go. And it's been really great.
So what were your aims coming in? Did you have aims with client results, with your income, with your lifestyle?
Yeah, primarily that aim was to shift gears
Mhm.
into making my private practice more sustainable
Mm.
and creating something that was as enjoyable as teaching. And through this model, I am able to continue teaching in a way that I love,
Mhm.
continue diving deep into the heart of Ayurveda in a way that benefits others and people are still learning. We're still sharing the light, and that knowledge is helping people find wellness and healing.
Mhm.
And it's just not as general as it had been through
Right.
teaching before. Now I can hone in on my specific niche, which turned out whenever I looked back at my history of patient files and I went into it all, I realized that when I started my practice in 2005, in those around those years, I had about somewhere between 5 and 15% people presenting with autoimmune disease and just chronic inflammation.
Mhm.
And in the last 5 years, it's more like 80 to 90% of the people coming to me have autoimmune disease or chronic inflammation. So it was very easy to see where I needed to go
Mhm.
with this model. And that was to create something that was going to benefit the majority of my patient base.
Mhm. So it was, would you say your main aim was to kind of guide more of a transformation?
Yes,
Okay, got it.
100%.
Did you have any income goals or goals to kind of get some of your personal time back?
Personal time, honestly, that's not as big of a concern of mine because I love what I do.
Mhm.
I'm totally engaged in this. I do like the fact that this is a traveling model.
Right.
I'm not tied to a space. My
Hmm.
teaching is the same though. So I appreciate this model for that. I'm not stuck in a space. Income goals for sure. I was definitely in the I need to get into a six-figure situation with my personal practice so that I can feel like Arta, like my goal of financial security
Hmm.
is taken care of.
Hmm. Got you. Okay. So tell me about your club then. When you joined WPA, what happened? What was the process? What's the vibe of your club? How did you come to form your club?
Ooh, so the way it's set up is really nice. And what I was doing in the beginning with all of the templates of filling things out and getting started with dialing in what the club was going to be
Mhm.
was walking the dog on extra long walks every day and just listening, brainstorming, and stopping and taking notes.
Mhm.
So I was in the woods for a whole lot of the creation of this club. And I had pretty much decided coming in what direction it was going to take. So it was just a matter of building it.
Mhm.
And the format is what I signed up for. The structure, the template, the business model is what I signed up for. So for me, it was just a matter of how fast can I get all of this information into my brain churn it around a little bit and create something that's functional and feasible and going to benefit everyone that I work with.
And what's your avatar usually like, or is it a big mix of people coming in? What goals do they usually come in with?
It's a bigger mix than I thought it was going to be. Initially, I was aiming for empowered professional women and AFABs in their pitta time of life
Mm-hmm.
who were navigating chronic inflammation and were ready to take ownership of their well-being, their vitality, and their happiness. And I really thought that it was going to be predominantly autoimmune disease
Mm-hmm.
and like deep chronic inflammation.
Mm-hmm.
And what I've found is that the people coming in are finding that this supportive structure is beneficial for all levels of inflammation, not just deep chronic inflammation.
Right.
And it might not be manifesting in their bodies. I have people in there that are just like, I'm stressed out and I need this structure and I need this support system and I need this in my life
Mm-hmm.
before this turns into chronic inflammation and autoimmune disease. So there are people coming in that aren't at that point, but recognize how beneficial this is.
Mm-hmm.
And then I have people with deep imbalances.
Mm-hmm. Okay. And what have you noticed since transitioning to a club model in terms of results for your clients?
I appreciate this structure so much for that. It's a newer club. We just started September 21st, so I can't give you what happens in the scope of a year, even though I could tell you I know what happens in the scope of a year just from practicing Ayurveda for so long and seeing when people commit to a year, what happens.
Right.
So for me, it's having that commitment from somebody that they're in it for a year of change. I know they're going to have transformational results because when people work one on one, they fall off. When people work one on one, it is much harder to be compliant. So, having the structure of community and the structure of time allows them for compliancy and it allows for support. And just that supportive structure is one of my favorite things because you are who you hang out with. You really are. And when you're with people that are also on that healing journey, we're uplifting each other, we're pushing each other, we're helping each other not fall back down. And that supportive structure is a tremendous boon to the healing path. I just had somebody join yesterday who just wants the community. She actually has been working with me for a year and has decreased all of her symptoms
Wow.
and was just like, no, I actually just need to stay compliant and I want to be a part of a community and I need this community in my life. So I'm thrilled for that because she recognizes how beneficial that is on the healing path to stay tapped in and to have that support structure.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's great to hear. We see that a lot with all the clubs. What do you think would have been difficult for you to achieve without the help of WPA?
Oh, the financial goals for sure is one of the clearest ones for me. But in terms of my patient journey, more people will be getting better results because they're committing to the healing for a longer period of time and they will have the support of community in that. So just the fact that I know that I can help more people get to lasting results
Mhm.
is really wonderful.
How long did it take for you from joining WPA to launching your own club?
I joined in May of
Mhm.
last year and I launched in September.
Okay.
And I was gone, so that's 4 months, I
Mhm.
think, and I was gone traveling for half of the summer. So
Okay.
had I been home, just pedal to the metal, it could
Mhm.
have been sooner. But I knew from the beginning that wasn't going to happen. I knew that I was going to be gone and traveling. And when I got home, mid-August is really so I sort of in the first couple of weeks, I did all the initial formatting,
Mhm.
blueprint, the club,
Right.
whatnot. And then when I came back at the middle of August, the next 6 weeks were get club going.
And how did you find the process of building your club? Did you come up with any obstacles you weren't expecting, or how was the structure of WPA guiding you through that?
I did not come up with any obstacles that I wasn't expecting. I feel like everything is laid out there and there's so much support in the community that anything you can't find or you think you might need is a simple ask.
Right.
And I had a clear idea of what I wanted to create from the beginning. I really just again needed like a template, the business model, the structure, and I'm still literally only halfway through listening to the material.
Right. Yeah.
So I'm sure I will continue to get more and more out of it as we go through.
Mhm.
But that's the other beauty is you don't have to go through everything
Mhm.
before you're launching if you see what you want to do and you can get your ducks in a row.
Right. And earn while you learn as well, which is,
Yes. Yes, exactly.
have you recouped your initial investment into WPA in those 6 months?
I did that by launch. By launch, I had return on investment.
Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah,
And
that was.
how much have you made from your club so far?
I am at about 36.6 right now.
Mhm.
And that is, we're slightly over, like we're almost at 2.5 months
Wow.
in. So I can see my goal of getting to where I need to be financially in my first year is accessible.
That's great to hear. And what
Yeah.
is your goal for your first year?
120.
120. Okay. And you're on track for that.
Yeah.
Hey, amazing. How many people do you have in your club?
Right now, including me, 16.
Okay. And are you hoping to expand or are you happy with that number?
Yeah, no, I'm fine. I'd like to definitely expand to somewhere between 36 and 48, I think. I mean, I'm totally content with wherever it goes.
Mhm. And are you encouraging members to start their own clubs or are they more there for their own healing journey?
The majority of them are there for their own healing journey. I have a second kind of club model layered in with this club. So this club is the Inspired Life Healing Collective, and then the second layer is Inspired Life Academy.
Okay.
And it's not necessarily teaching them how to build a club, but it is just a mentorship group. So
Mhm.
it's people that were former students of mine that have graduated that want additional support on their journey, whatever it might be. And so one of them is putting together a 3 month program. I can't recall right now what it was. I was actually just looking it up. One of them is putting together a 3 month program for kids in ski team in her town. So
Okay.
she's putting together a program to help keep your kids strong and ready and
Mhm.
athlete ready for ski team through Ayurveda for this winter where she lives. And
Mhm.
one of them is building a little, I'll see if I can find it, but she's got something for a retirement home that is she is working in, just like educational Ayurveda stuff. And one of them is just wanting to teach more classes in her local yoga studio. And one is combining her knowledge with her nurse coaching and isn't sure how that's going to evolve yet. But they bring the when we meet, we can talk about how club is evolving. They're sort of helping me build club also. Like, what do you see? What do we need to shift? How do we need to do this? They're
Mhm.
getting practice with a dynamic coaching, just leading conversation with people and they're getting a lot of practice just talking basically
Mhm.
and being able to guide conversations and guide coaching calls, which I think is really important.
Mhm.
And they will bring their client files and their patient files to our meetings to just kind of go over their one-on-ones.
Okay.
And if people want one-on-ones in club, that also goes to them.
Mhm.
And then they can be, so we're all, and they also lead sort of micro groups in club. So I have this, everyone has an accountability buddy, but we also have accountability groups. So they're checking in on their people each week, once a week, just via text. And then they're also kind of like, is everybody coming to the call? And so they have somebody personally that the people in club can tap into for questions, and they have their own micro communities within our bigger community, and they
Okay.
help with that as well. And if they're interested in club, then they're sort of just organically seeing how that's happening.
Right. Okay. And seeing how it works.
Yeah.
So I guess what would you say is the biggest thing that you've learned since joining WPA?
The biggest thing I've learned is that this model makes life way easier in terms of moving from one-on-ones to the club model. It makes life way easier for the practitioner
Mm.
because you're forcing yourself to niche rather than letting your energy get dispersed all over the place.
Mhm.
And when you force yourself to get to niche, then your own knowledge on what you already are an expert on increases that much more because all your energy is going into that. And everybody then benefits from that
Mhm.
because you can laser focus your own attention on the club model and your people in club. And I'm also learning that, this model really benefits the people that need help that much more than one on
Right.
one.
Have you found any personal development outside of your professional life since changing business models?
I mean, it holds me accountable. That's one thing that I really like about it is what I'm not going to guide people on a journey that I'm not on.
Right.
And so, like I said, I'm the 16th member of the club right now. It's exciting to me to be a part of something like this because, yeah, it's holding me to those same things and I don't get fall off track just like my patients were. I'm
Right.
staying in the mix as well. So it health wise and wellness wise, it benefits all
Mhm.
of us, including me.
Mhm. Okay, great. By the end of your first year, what do you hope to have achieved through your club?
I really hope for massive transformation, though I don't even, I wouldn't call that a hope. That I can already see. I want people to really enjoy this nurturing and supportive community, but I want them to develop these intentional practices and that they can hold on to for the rest of their lives that increase their own clarity and energy and emotional resilience. I want them to feel how these habits and rhythmically aligning their lifestyle with nature helps them feel more vibrant and alive. The goal is in a year that the beginning members of club have cultivated peace of mind. They've reduced symptoms of inflammation and they have enhanced their own well-being and have that deeper understanding of themselves that they can really understand how their own unique self fits into the nature that they're in and how to create balance.